Okay, so Brian Hoke will now be covering a World Series starting on Friday. It's going to be the Yankees against the Dodgers. The 12th time these two teams have met in the history of baseball, the most of any two teams in the sport. And I think this is a really evenly matched series. Dodgers knocked off the Mets. The Yankees knocked off the Guardians. The Mets, I believe, are better than the Guardians. And the Guardians were very spunky. They really fought. They battled. Those 3 games in Cleveland were really, really entertaining games. I mean, great for baseball, bad for blood pressure if you're a fan of either team. But the Yankees persevered, as they should have, because they're the better team. And the Dodgers persevered because they're better than the Mets. But I do believe the Mets are better than the Guardians. So the Dodgers had a bigger test. They won 6 games. The Yankees won 5. Both teams going to have a lot of time off because, as I mentioned, the series starts in L.A. Friday. Game 2 is Saturday. All the games start at 8:08, by the way. Sunday is a travel day. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Yankee Stadium. Thursday's a travel day. And if necessary, Games 6 and 7 will be back in L.A. Now, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 2 out of 3 during the regular season. But remember, during that 3-game set, Juan Soto was hurt. Not in the lineup. Trent Grisham was playing those games, so it was a completely different Yankee team. Yankees are hale and hearty. Looks like Nestor Cortez will be back on the roster. They don't have any significant injuries, and that's a good thing. The Dodgers have many significant injuries, specifically in their starting pitching. And what the Yankees have to hope is that their presumed Game 1 starter, Jack Flaherty, probably ran into a wall because the last game he pitched against the Mets, Don, he was awful in Game 5, just awful. And they just completely tattooed him. So is he fatigued, which could be? Yamamoto is probably not going to start Game 1 because he can't start on regular rest. He has to have 5 days rest. So this way, Jack Flaherty could at least start Game 5 if they had to. What was that?
No, that was my phone.
Oh, my goodness.
Keep going.
Well, you just ruined the point guard.
No.
No, that's what you did. You did. I hope you're happy.
By the way, if I did, I am happy. That actually, if that happened, that'll be my new strategy when I hear you get going.
What the F?
Wow.
Because if Yamamoto starts Game 1, Don, that means that they'll have to have 2 bullpen games in the first 5. They only have 3 starters. So the Yankees have 5. One of them is in the bullpen, Marcus Stroman, and if they replace Stroman with Cortez, it's the same deal. 5. In fact, they have 6 healthy starters. The Dodgers barely have 2.5 because all their best pitchers are on the IL or were ineffective. So I think the Yankees have an advantage in the starting pitching, and the bullpens are fairly equal. Yeah. I think the Dodgers bullpen might be a little deeper.
And the 2 offenses are historically good. Or at least it can be historically good. Now, if you're not familiar with the Dodgers' work, Michael, just take a look at that Mets series and so many bats. You know Ohtani, you know Betts. Kike Hernandez, Michael, might be one of the great postseason hitters we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It is amazing how he comes to life in the postseason. Edman, I thought, had a tremendous series, batted over almost 350 in the series, had 4 RBIs last night. Muncy is a very good player. They've got a very, very good line. And the other thing, too, Michael, and I saw it in this series, I'm sorry, Peter, is that you could be up 10-2. They're still going to come at you. They are relentless offensively. So where they may lack in pitching, Michael, especially starting pitching, they can make up for scoring runs. So, and the Mets had some pretty good pitching. I don't think their bullpen isn't to the level of the Yankees, although I think the Mets starting pitching outside of Cole is probably superior, more Mets side. We can debate that, but this team could hit. And we do know the Yankees bats can go quiet. But when they're on, Soto, Judge, Stanton has been unbelievable. But these are really good offensive teams, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't think any game is over. I don't know how many. I don't know if leads are going to be safe because of this Dodger offense, Michael. As good as the Yankees bullpen is, I think this Dodger team is going to get some runs.
You know what else is interesting? I love the fact that Judge is not the player with the most pressure in this series.
Who would you say that is?
I would say that's Shohei Ohtani. I would say the entire baseball world will be locked in to see Shohei Ohtani. And I think Major League Baseball itself, as excited as they are about the Yankees and as great as it would be to see the Yankees win the whole thing, a great performance on this stage from Shohei Ohtani is a big deal. And I understand among the Yankee fan, of course, the pressure's on Aaron Judge. But in general, guys, I think for people watching this series, I think Shohei Ohtani's the most watched player in the series.
Well, I think the Mets might have given the Yankees a little bit of a template. Just don't throw him strikes. Now, they got hurt when there were runners on base, but for the most part, they did corral him when he came up with nobody on base. But they didn't throw him strikes. So he's smart. Most times he doesn't expand his strike zone. So in the postseason so far, he's hit 286, 3 home runs, 10 ribbies. Didn't steal a base against the Mets. Only tried 1. So he had over 50 stolen bases during the season. Be interesting to see how they approach him. Going to be interesting to see if Freddie Freeman can play. He didn't play yesterday. His ankle's been bothering him. It's affected his swing. But the Dodgers do have some depth. They have pesky hitters. The Yankees, top of the order, the top 4 in the order, were exceptional. Judge had that big home run against Clase. And although the Yankees didn't win that game, it certainly took away the aura of invincibility from Clase because Judge hit a perfect pitch. So you can't blame Clase on that. You could blame Clase on the home run that Stanton hit after Judge's home run, but that really kind of opened up the Yankees' eyes. We've beaten him during the regular season. He's certainly not unbeatable. Now, in the bottom of the order, from 5 to 9, there are some outs. Chisholm has not hit. Austin Wells has not hit. Verdugo has not hit. Now, I don't want to give short shrift. I thought that Anthony Volpe had a great series against Cleveland. Hit the ball hard, walked a lot, ran the bases. I thought he was exceptional. And much to everybody's surprise, Anthony Rizzo was outstanding at an OPS of about 1,000. And this is a guy with 2 broken fingers on his hands. I think it affects him more when he's fielding than when he's hitting. You can see that when he catches a throw from an infielder, he takes his bare hand and he puts it behind the glove so that it can absorb the impact of the ball hitting the glove, hitting the broken fingers, which is his glove hand. But it does not affect him offensively. Getting 2 hits a game, 2 hits a game, a hit, 2 hits a game. So that's been a surprise, a pleasant surprise for the Yankees. So the Yankee offense is pretty good as well. Both teams are going to take their walks. And I think, one of the knocks against the Yankees as they've been getting knocked out in postseason games in previous years, well, they have too many home run hitters. Well, that's the reason they beat Cleveland. So, yeah, I just think you're going to get a lot of swing and miss in the postseason for this one reason. You're facing better pitching. So when you do get people on with walks, the time that you do make contact, you have to drive it out of the park. And that's exactly what the Yankees did. They had 5 runs in Game 5, a 2-run home run by Stanton, a 3-run home run by Soto. So that's how you win games in the postseason, hitting home runs. You have to take advantage of the walks and then hit 2-run home runs. And that's how you can get enough runs to win. So I think it's going to be a fascinating series.
And I will say, with the Judge conversation of it all, I know things feel better. And you just alluded to the walks, Michael. Obviously, Judge has been a major part of that. I think he's walked 7 times?
Yeah, he's walked a lot,
yep. But, guys, he has 5 hits in the playoffs. It has still not come easy for Judge. You feel better, Don, because he got the 2 home runs in this series, but he's batting in the 1 still. It has not been great.
True, but Soto's been terrific. Stanton has been awesome. So this is going to be a fun series. Now, I don't know how I know how Yankee fans feel. They all believe that this team, it's championship or bust. But how should they feel, Michael? I mean, they're an underdog in this series, actually. I mean, Vegas has the Dodgers as the favorite. Is it championship or bust when you go in as the underdog? This is a really good Dodger team. I'm not saying you want to get swept, Michael, but could they lose in 6 or 7 games and a Yankee fan walk away satisfied with the season, or do they walk in saying we have to win the World Series?
I mean, are you new to the party? They're not going to be satisfied unless they win a championship.
I understand how they're going to react, Michael, but what I'm asking is how should they?
Well, no, I would disagree with you in this way. I don't know if this is what you're alluding to, but they might be underdog, but they're not massive underdogs. They're on an equal footing with the Dodgers. They should beat them.
Well, that's why I said, Michael, if they get swept, then that obviously it's a moot point.
Right.
You were embarrassed. But I'm saying if you lose in 7 classic games, I mean, is there a scenario where you can look back and go, this was one hell of a season? Like we put everything into, Judge has to win a championship, and there's tons of pressure on him. Is there any scenario in which he can hit well, the Yankees play well, Dodgers just happen to be the better team, and we don't have to get apoplectic if they end up losing? I mean, this is not Cleveland. This is not Kansas City, Michael. This is, I think we can agree now, looking at the way everything went down, is is the toughest test by far that they are going to face this season. And this is a battle of evenly matched teams. And right now Vegas gives the advantage to the Dodgers, probably because of the fact they had a better record in the regular season and they've got home field advantage. I don't even know what is it, Anthony, on ESPN Bet. I know the Dodgers are favorite, but what is the number? I can't imagine it's more than maybe plus 100, maybe, Michael? What is it? I would just be guessing.
I have not.
Minus 125 for the Dodgers.
Minus 120. I'm sorry, minus 125. It's
plus 105 for the Yankees.
Plus 105. So that's it's pretty even. That's
Yeah.
why I said if it's a great series, I'm not talking about the yo-yo fans that want everybody fired, but is there a scenario? It's like, hey, all right, we didn't win, but boy, we gave it a heck of an effort, or is that not even on the table because it's the Yankees?
I mean, from their fan base, I think apoplectic is in play if they lose. So, yeah.
No.
I mean, you think the Yankees will be disappointed if they lose? Yeah, I think they would.
Of course they're going to be disappointed, but I just don't. It's so weird with this fan base, and it's so weird with this team, because I had said off the cuff a couple of weeks ago they've got an excellent chance to win the World Series. And I got excellent. Are you kidding me? Excellent. I stand by it. Excellent chance to win. Now they're in the World Series. So this fan base, a lot of people were kind of down on them. Now all of a sudden they have to win. I mean, there's another team that gets paid to win too. If you lose to Kansas City, if you lose to Cleveland, of course you got to go crazy. You're much better than those teams. You've owned those teams. There's no excuse to lose to those teams. Can you honestly look at this Dodgers team and say there's no excuse we should beat them? I mean, I don't think you follow baseball if you think we should beat them. You can beat them. You want to beat them. But can anybody honestly with a straight face say we got this, that we're definitely going to win?
No, on either side you can't.
Guarantee victory on either side, right? And I would say the same thing for the Dodgers too. Just because they're a tad bit favored, can the Dodgers look there and go, "We have to win this series"? I mean, no, this isn't some surprise run. You're the best team in the American League versus the best team in the American League. I mean, I guess I'm answering my own question, Michael. But I mean, is there ever a chance where you go in and say, "Let the best man win," and if the best man wins, you tip your cap and go, "Hey, we'll try again next year"? Is it always Harry Carey with this team? I don't think that's fair ever to put that kind of pressure on a team. Like Peter's saying, Judge has to win. Well, Judge could go out there and hit 5 home runs in this series. But Ohtani hits 6, and the Dodgers win in extra innings in Game 7.
Or Ohtani hits 3 and they win. It's either way.
But you know what I mean? It's not basketball where he could take every shot and take control of the game. He can only do what he can do in those moments. Now, listen, I agree. He goes 0 for 35 and they get swept. Well, then no, that's embarrassing, Mike. I don't think there's any reason why they should ever be embarrassed by the Dodgers, and vice versa. But it has to be win or a complete waste. I think this could be a really, really fun series.
I would agree. Hey, celebrate the return of Knicks basketball with Barton Hahn live from Stout, NYC. That's across from Madison Square Garden this Friday before the Knicks home opener against the Pacers. The guys will be broadcasting live from noon to 3 with giveaways and special guest appearances. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the New York Knicks. Superior light beer. 1-800-919-3776. Dave in Westchester. Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing? With my heart, I'll pick the Yankees, but with my brain, I just think the Dodgers are a better team.
Why?
From 1 to 9, their batters. All I see with the Yankees is not Judge. I don't see him. I see Soto and I see Stanton, and I see a whole lineup of Dodgers. Like every single guy is a very difficult out. The Yankees pitching is going to have to really, really pick it up. These aren't 2 JV teams like Cleveland and Kansas City. This team is a baseball team. They are really
well.
good.
How do you eliminate Gleyber Torres from somebody who, I mean, he's been on base in the first inning?
I'm saying, if he keeps on going, but I'm saying that's a plus. I mean, you're going to eliminate Betts. I'm not going to name the whole lineup of the Dodgers. It's stupid to do that. I'm just saying this team is much, much, much better. And I'm not the only one who called that. This is your friend Alan Hahn who said this also.
They're not much better. I respectfully disagree with you, Dave, and with Alan. They're not much. They could be better. They're not much better by any stretch of the imagination. They're not much better. That's silly. That's silly. I mean, you want to match up some of their best players? We can do that. So Stanton's an unbelievable postseason DH. Ohtani's an unbelievable DH. Freeman's hurt. Rizzo's hurt, playing hurt. They even themselves out. Yankees second baseman better than the Dodgers second baseman. Mookie Betts, Juan Soto. I mean, where are they so much better? Kike Hernandez, Jazz Chisholm. I mean, you could pick one side or the other. Edman or Volpe. Look at the postseason Volpe's had. I don't know how you could say much better. You could say better. I'm not going to argue with you about better, but you're making it seem, as Don just like presented this scenario, that they'd be overwhelming favorites. You're not watching the game. Well, so you give me their lineup. Well, how about the Yankees starting pitching? Much better. That's much better. And the bullpens are kind of even. So you can pick whoever you want, and I don't think you're going to get an argument from me. But when you say much better, you're way off base.
But we're going to find out. Listen, I thought the Mets were a lot more competitive against the Dodgers when the series started, and I was surprised that it ended up being. It was competitive in the sense that the Mets won a couple of games and it went 6. But I think the Dodgers were the much better team. Did I think that going in? I did not. Matter of fact, when we were talking, Michael, we thought that the Dodgers were the better matchup because of the starting pitching than the Padres. Now, it turned out the Dodgers ended up being a lot better. I mean, could we find that out? They played 3 games during the regular season, Michael, and Soto wasn't in. And we've seen in the regular season it doesn't matter. I mean, is there a possibility that we can look back and say, wow, one of these teams was a lot better than we thought? Like, I don't expect the Yankees to sweep the Dodgers. I don't think that's on the table, but it could happen. And go, wow, Yankees were a lot better than I thought. And the vice versa can happen, right? I mean, I agree with you. On paper, I think these are very evenly matched teams. But that's why you go out and you play and you see. I'd be shocked if it ended one-sided either way, but it still could.